Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Mastermind Millennial channel. My name is EJ, and today I got to talk about something that is super serious. I know it's been a while, I've been busy with work, but guess what? I'm talking about this particular issue because it's a serious issue for me. So, in the great state of Maryland, there is Senate Bill 311 called the End Your Life Act. Now, what am I talking about? Well, to put it in simpler terms, this is a physician-assisted suicide bill that Delegate Pendergrass, who has been pushing this for years, trying to get the state to allow people to get lethal drugs to end their life. Now, I don't think the state should be in the business of doling out suicide drugs. Look, let's get serious now. In the country as a whole, suicides are on the rise like nobody's business. Go to the CDC and you will see for yourself, okay? Now, I have another issue with that. Not every state in America reports suicide numbers. If Maryland is going to start doling out lethal drugs, they need to report to the CDC how many lethal drugs or how many people have committed suicide. Guess what? There is no law doing that now. You know, people, you can't have it both ways. I don't think that the state of Maryland should be in the business of doling out lethal drugs for people to end their life. It's a personal issue. It's a family issue. The government need not get involved. Right now there's a epidemic with opioids. There's an epidemic with suicides. There's an epidemic with mental health. Why in the world, when suicide is currently not illegal, nor is it legal, do we need to pass legislation to make it legal? There is enough death going around. Why push this? Now, Maryland currently does not have a physician-assisted suicide law. They decided back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, we're not having this. Somebody please explain to me why there's a change, why we have to push this. It doesn't make any sense. So, on top of that, this Senate Bill 301 is just bad policy. It's just bad policy. Now, I'm going to give you a few reasons why I think it's bad policy. I'm talking about the state of Maryland, Senate Bill 311, titled the End Your Life Act. Okay? Here's some reasons why I think there's something wrong with it. There's no duty to report to death. You see, according to this bill, if you're diagnosed with a terminal disease and given a 6 months prognosis, then you qualify to go to a doctor, have that doctor verify with another doctor, make sure you're not mentally unstable. You have to sign some paperwork. You have to have, I think, 2 witnesses. The witnesses don't have to be related to you. And after that, you get your prescription. Now, the people who push this bill push it as compassionate, as autonomous, you taking control. If you read the bill, those words about control and compassion and peace are not even in the bill. If that's what's if giving people a peaceful way to move on to the next step of life is so important, why not codify it in the law? But they can't. Honestly, when you read Senate Bill 311, it's a big legal protection for the doctor who may eventually administer these drugs. But I digress. Let me get back to why I don't like it. There's no way to enforce drug returns. So Maryland is trying to pattern this law after Oregon State's law. Oregon State has a law that deals with physician-assisted suicide. Well, what we found, or what a lot of people who study this has found, is in Oregon, a lot of times when you are prescribed this drug, guess what? You don't just get one. A lot of times you get between 50 and 100. Now, why you would need 50 to 100 lethal doses of a suicide pill, I don't know. The problem with the Maryland state law is that there is no legal standard to recollect any unused drugs. And guess what happened in Oregon? Over tens of thousands of these drugs go onto the market, onto the street, into oblivion, because there's no way to recover them. The person who has taken the drugs successfully, do I need to say any more? The policy says, in the state of Maryland, the bill actually says, a person in possession of lethal drugs shall dispose of the medication in a lawful manner, such as blank blank with the penalty of blank, blank, nothing. There's no way to enforce that a person in possession shall legally dispose or shall legally return them. To who and to what? And under what authority? Bad policy. There's no way to recover unused drugs. That could potentially leave the drugs either poured down the sink, thrown in the toilet, or out there on the black market. We don't want that. It's bad policy because it doesn't control lethal drugs. Another reason, it guarantees that you die alone. In the bill itself, it says that the individual going down this path has to be of solid mind to take this on their own. There is no duty for anyone else to be there at the time of taking this drug. And it also tells the physicians in the bill, it says that the physicians must counsel the person taking the drugs to not take it in public. So you're going to be counseled to take it in private. And and by the way, you must take it yourself. Sorry, that's not very compassionate at all. It's not. I don't think the state needs to be in the business of handing out lethal drugs. This is a very personal, private, and familial issue. Governments, people in power, mind your business. Stay out of the business of the people. Anyone who is considering suicide may not consider getting permission first. Why do we need to set up a system for people to get permission to commit suicide? Suicide is an epidemic in the country. We don't need more of it. We need less of it. I'm going to close out with this. Alright. To make a long story short, the bill fell. And I'm glad it fell. But the vote was very close. Larry Hogan said, he's going to veto it. He didn't have to veto it. But who's to say next time this comes around that the Senate won't just pass it right through? I think this is a win for the value of life. Okay? That's just my opinion. If you want a little more information, I would recommend going to stopassistedsuicide.org. There's a great infographic that just lays out all the reasons why this is just bad policy. Hey, till next time, be informed. Make your own decisions. I'm going to leave all my sources in the description. You read for yourself, and at least you know what's not being told in the news. Hey, till next time, have a great day.